Bay Ridge. Welcome to another edition of After Hours. On Sunday, we took a little bit of a break from our series in Daniel, though the teaching is actually really closely related. I was taking a little bit of time to study to get ready for Daniel 7 to 12, which is going to be a real look into the future. And we were talking on Sunday about ancient, present, future faith. So the aspect is we're moving from Daniel's chapter 1 to 6, where we were looking back at this historical narrative regarding Daniel and his friends as they went into the exile. In chapter 7 to 12, we're really going to move all the way in as Daniel was looking at the future. We're seeing how Daniel not only lived in his present, but how he was given visions that dealt with the future for him. And so this idea of future, understanding the future faith is important for our present obedience. We're going to see that in Daniel 7 to 12, and it's really important for us that our present faithfulness is related to and anchored in our future hope. And so I wanted to expand on that idea just a little bit, specifically the idea of the future and how it relates to our present faithfulness, and give just three different ways. Number one, we have to recognize that this present world is full of sorrow and pain. We live in a fallen, broken world. The world is broken, and it's oftentimes ruled by evil people. If you watch the news or you read history, you see what's going on, and there's a lot of evil people that can grab power and inflict a lot of pain and harm on others. The ravages of sin are very apparent all around us. If we don't see them, we're not paying attention to what's happening around us. And such things can overwhelm our faith if we lose sight of the future when God's going to heal this world. The Christian faith is not just that this life is suffering and eventually you're trying to get to nirvana, which is more or less non-existence because all existence is suffering. No, we believe this world is broken, but it's going to be healed. It's going to be repaired. It's going to be restored by Jesus. And so this is why the Bible spends a lot of time reminding us of heaven, orienting us towards the future. So that's the first reason. Secondly, we have to remember, as I remind us every once in a while, that this world is the shadowlands, and heaven, our future home, the new heavens and the new earth, is actually the reality. I'm quoting here, of course, from C.S. Lewis. It's his memorable phrase and idea. When they even made a movie about Lewis, they referred to the movie as the Shadowlands because it was so central in Lewis's thought. And it's so important. The reason he stressed this is because the shadowlands that are around us, they really are, they're not more real, they're less real than what is coming, but they seem so real to our senses. They cry out for our attention, and they really tend to deny the spiritual world in heaven. This has become particularly a problem today. In the ancient world, people really were kind of oriented towards an afterlife. Today, we're not thinking that way. We try to put that out, and everything becomes about the here and now. And that's why Paul tells us, actually in 2 Corinthians 5:7, we live by faith, not by sight. And Paul there is actually talking about meditating and thinking upon our future inheritance. That's in 2 Corinthians 5. From 2 Corinthians 4 and 5, the whole chapters are really orienting us towards our future hope. And Paul there is telling us, look, the nature of the Christian faith is we don't live by our sight of what's going on around us. We live by faith. We're trusting in what God has done, what he is doing, and where things are going. And so we are to prioritize the eternal and the heavenly over that which is temporal and earthly. We care about this present age. We're engaged in this present age, but we always realize that the ultimate reality is that which is eternal, that which is coming. And finally, I want to remind us, and this is a little bit of preparation for Daniel 7 to 12. We're going to see over and over again in these visions in Daniel chapter 7 through 12 that the kingdoms of this world and the kings of this world are compared to these horrible, beastly creatures. And this is because the beastly creatures and rulers of this age, they are screaming for our loyalty. We'll see in those chapters over and over again, there is a conflict, and they are oppressing the people of God because they demand ultimate loyalty. And because of the things that we've stated about this being a broken world, and that the ultimate reality is the coming kingdom, not what we see around us, we cannot give ultimate loyalty to the beastly kingdoms of this age. And we therefore are giving it to God. We are giving it to God and his kingdom. And therefore there oftentimes is oppression that will come in. And if we're going to withstand those pressures that are coming at us from this age, and particularly from beastly rulers and overt pressure, we have to fix our eyes on those eternal, unseen things, not the temporal shadow. We have to fix them on the reality, not the shadowlands. And so I want to close by just reading. Paul tells us in 2 Corinthians 4:16-18. Here's how Paul puts it. Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal weight of glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. If you paid attention when we were praying as we were at the Lord's table the other day, I was actually praying part of verse 17, that the Holy Spirit would be so fixing our eyes on the eternal that we would realize that whatever afflictions we have are light and they are momentary, because the Spirit is using those things to work in us an eternal weight of glory. So that is how our present faith is anchored by the future. So I encourage each and every one of us this week, as much as everything around us is screaming out that this is the ultimate reality, this is the only reality, let's hear and heed. If we don't want to lose heart as we are in the midst of outwardly wasting away, as we are going through the struggles of this kingdom, as the beastly kingdoms of our exile may be demanding our ultimate loyalty, the way we stand firm and true is we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, because we realize this is temporary. Life is short. Eternity is long. This is the shadow. The kingdom that's coming is the reality. So friends, be anchored by our future hope. I hope God blesses you, and I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to us gathering together this Sunday so we can spend time worshiping our great God together. God bless.